So I made this video because I just watched I watched some time ago, like, but a bit worried about using it, like, because it's copyrighted, so I don't want to cause myself any problems. Um, yeah, so it's a video that's it's called Nature's Blueprint, so you can actually go and watch it yourself on YouTube. I've taken the sound off. It sounds like I've got a voiceover of David Attenborough. So why do earthworms matter more than fertilizer? It's an interesting question, that is, I just done some research into it, and the researcher is with ChatGPT, and it says no, obviously you lose your earthworms, and you till your soil, what happens is, as you can see, it causes erosions, and these erosions can cause their own channels in rain, and erode the soil away. So it runs away, because obviously, if it's high, it's going to run down. If it's slightly downhill, and if it's not any rain will run off, So it's like they need a lot. It's all those fertilizers you put on actually end up in the rivers and streams and lakes, etc. So ponds. So this is what happens when you get to earth erosion. Starts off. I've done a little bit of a what's name here, so you can actually hear it. We'll see what happens here. Yeah, okay, we'll save and listen to it then. Okay, do it that way.
When soil loses its natural life, it becomes compacted, dry, and exposed. What once lived beneath the surface disappears. Rain no longer soaks in. Instead, it runs off, carrying nutrients, chemicals, and the soil itself away. The underground system is broken. Earthworm tunnels collapse.
Yeah, so this is what happens when you get toxic chemicals leaching into rivers, etc. You get an algae bloom and such and it's like, wow, we're not being very clever. God created something which was perfect, and man come along and says, oh, we can do better than that, and this is where it's got us. So it can certainly lead to major problems for future cropping. Farmers used to be the custodians of the land. They knew what to do, but since they've gone to college, and universities, they seem to got clever and no less. It's like, wow, okay, so you can make a chemical which is similar to this or similar to that, you make it in a test tube, it's like, to give you an idea how dangerous sometimes some of these chemicals can be, because unintentional consequences. They try to make hemp cannabis in a lab, which was then they can actually hail it and say, oh, we can actually now patent to this, So okay, you now can patent something that can be given to people, Unfortunately, when it's given to people, it kills them. Highly addictive, 10 times worse than as I've been told, is heroin. Obviously, I've got pictures that shows people are totally destroyed. It's a shame. The youngsters need to be warned. Be careful. It's not all gold that glitters. Do you know what I mean? Because it's someone says, "Oh, use that as cannabis," it's like, yeah, you can get highly addictive to it. Be very, very, very careful. A lot of people have tried it. Are now in the graveyard, young children, young boys and girls, because of a lack of knowledge. However, go on to this, this is what um, it's underground damage done to the soil, unintentional consequences. All right, so we made man-made chemicals, and it's destroyed this. Seems to be very similar to lots of things that you actually start to realize with synthetics, isn't it? Man-made plastics, man-made medicine, man-made this, man-made that. But man didn't make man like God made man. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, so what happens is the whole system, you get rid of these the earthworms, like, and the whole thing collapses. Do you know what I mean? Like, so like, wow, this is how it should be. Do you know what I mean? Like, natural. Do you know what I mean? When it's broken down, you go, it's gone. It's gone forever. It's like, well, it can be brought back, but only by true custodians of the land, like, that's the farmers, like, yeah, so just pop it along a bit more.
Cocoons are lost. The natural fertility of the soil begins to fade. But when we return organic matter to the surface, something begins to change. Earthworms return.
Yeah, so something does begin to change. We can actually do this, like, so it's like it's not rocket science, people. It's quite simple. Just go back to God's way. What happens to a tree if it falls? Like, it falls down to the ground, like, and eventually it's sucked into the ground, like, and it rots and becomes part of the soil, like, I mean, it's a perfect. See, they're just placing this on cardboard. See, just so soak the cardboard, like, and do you know what I mean, like that? So it's not hard. And David Attenborough, I think he was explaining this in the video I was watching. Yeah, so when he's, I think I lost it now, not to worry. Yeah, so when he explains, like, cardboard, because it's made from trees, is buried in, it has to be done carefully, like, it can't be inaccurate when you do it, like, otherwise you can cause the opposite effects. Do you know what I mean? Like, so what we're trying to promote is this is worms growing through an aerated soil. The aerated soil holds a lot more water. And when it's holding a lot more water, you can grow plants in it, like, and plants don't suffer during the summer months, like, because there's enough moisture underneath the earth to keep the plants alive and gain all the nutrients they need to gain from the ground. Farmers can't afford to put all the different nutrients into the ground, like, because simple reason there's so many of them. They only put in 3, like, that's nitrogen, phosphorus, and phosphate, nitrogen, NPK. Oh, I can't remember. Anyway, so yeah, they only put 3 basic chemicals into the ground, like, because it's fast acting. But unfortunately, it damages the soil, especially synthetic fertilizers. It really does damage the soil, like, it doesn't get on conducively with earthworms, like, because earthworms don't know what it is, like, when something's made in a test tube, because, oh, what's that? Do you know what I mean? Like, so yeah. And if we actually use comfrey as a part of the ecosystem, like, it's such this guy produced a Bocking 14, a specialized comfrey, and he give it away all over the world, like, and I can't remember his name for a second, but yeah, he actually, you could plant it where it is. It's non-invasive, so it lasts about 20 odd years, like. You plant a field of comfrey, like, Bocking 14, and you got enough, you'll have up to 100 ton of natural fertilizer every single year. You don't have to worry about what's name going to Hormuz to go and get your chemicals from the island. It's like, yeah, well, synthetic fertilizers is made from oil, like, and it's really, really costly to the planet as far as CO2 is concerned, like, because it produces so much CO2 when you're trying to make it, like, but God didn't create it like that. Like, God created it so that you could grow in your garden. You have to import it. You'd have to be held to ransom by some country, like, who wants to stop your oil. I mean, oil's good to a certain degree, like, but yeah, we can produce everything we want in our own gardens, like, why do we have to go halfway around the world? And that includes fuel. Do you know what I mean? So we need to wake up a little bit, like, yeah, so we can change things, like, which would be good if we'd done it, so we'll just carry on a little bit more with this.
They rebuild the soil from within, restoring structure, air, and life. Healthy soil absorbs water, feeds plants, and sustains future generations. We don't need to rebuild nature. We just need to stop interrupting it.
Yeah, innit? That's all they need to do. Just stop interrupting it. That's right, 100%. See, this is I'm not too sure if this is mycelium. Yeah, it's like a fungus that grows underground. That looks like roots to me, though. Mycelium looks a bit finer than that. But yeah. Let's have a good look at this. Yeah, so knowing the situation is important, like, if we want to achieve the right object. See, that's nice crummy soil, that one is. Like, look how aerated that is. Wow. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So we need to go back to living soil. Living soil is the thing that we need, like, that creates healthy plants. And if you can create healthy plants, you can give it to healthy people. The whole synergy is prophylactic. The one thing with hemp cannabis, like, it is a prophylactic. It stops you from getting different diseases. It protects the heart and all sorts of. Cannabinoids are found out within the whole of the body, like, it's like, wow. But sometimes we think we're clever, like, but we're not so clever. Because you went to university doesn't mean that you went to university to learn how to destroy the land. Like, wow, why would you want to go synthetic for? There is other options, like, better options. Do you know what I mean? Like, so think about it, people, like, yeah, so I've just done this through ChatGPT, and I thought I'd just do a quick video so you can actually see what I'm talking about. Like, but yeah, wake up, people. It's up to you. God's great. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you allow Him to actually feed you rather than universities.